So far, we've seen 3 maps for Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker. Now, it would be ridiculous to expect only 3 maps from a competitive multiplayer arena game like Shinobi Striker is going to be. So today, here on TGN Anime, we look at what we have and ask for more. Because that's what Naruto fans do. We just ask for more all the time. My name is Globku and these are 10 maps that we want in Shinobi Striker. Alright, before we get to the list, let's look at what we already have. We've got the Hidden Leaf Village, which we've seen to death in the Gamescom gameplay. We've got the Hidden Cloud Village, which is my favorite so far. I just love the look of this one. And we have the Sand Village training area. All of them have different layouts as shown in this scan from shonengames.com. And I think we could have even more variety. So with that in mind, let's get to the list. And number 10, the Hidden Mist. Now, we've seen 2 versions of the Hidden Mist throughout Naruto. The first one, while it was the Naruto story being told, it's a bit overrun by the greens, like someone hasn't been doing maintenance on their buildings, and it looks a little bit grim, to say the least. And now on the next generation Boruto, the Hidden Mist has thrived and evolved into something completely different. It's now a more modern urban area with commercial streets and big tall buildings. I think the urban environments and running across rooftops would provide a very different experience from anything that we've seen so far, and really any of these versions would be fine, which is why the Hidden Mist is the best village of Naruto. And you can fight me in the comments if you disagree. Number 9, the Valley of the End. This one is just a natural fit for Shinobi Striker. You have lots of verticality between the statues, the waterfall, and we haven't seen any ninjas running on water in Shinobi Striker yet, so this could be their chance to do so. Not only is it a location of extreme importance for the Naruto lore, I can also see its layout making for a very interesting map. The only problem with this one is, however, the setting that this game takes place in. Naruto is the Hokage, summoning all these ninja from all across the world to fight in a tournament to be who's the strongest ninja. So if at this point Naruto's the Hokage, then the Valley of the End is probably destroyed. But maybe they've rebuilt it, I don't know. In this game, young Naruto will actually be fighting right next to Boruto, so I guess it doesn't have to make sense. Number 8, destroyed Konoha. Again, not really sure how this fits into Shinobi Striker, if the Hokage is calling ninjas for a tournament to fight each other, and while this is happening the village is destroyed. Maybe it doesn't make too much sense, but hey, we've already arrived at the conclusion that it doesn't have to make sense. We've seen a destroyed version of Konoha twice in Naruto. The first one was when Pain attacked the village, and we've seen another one at the very beginning of Boruto, where Boruto's all grown up and stuff. Take whatever version you want. The destruction of Konoha was always so impactful to me, because it's the place where we've seen all these characters grow and have a good time, and as a fan of the Mist, it would give me great joy to see the destroyed village again. What? You didn't think I was sad about Konoha, did you? I mean, I just told you the Mist is the best village. Whose side did you think I'm on? Number 7, Orochimarus Hideout. This map could be incredible for a search and destroy type of game, because it's a maze of corridors, and finding your enemy's location would be of extreme importance. I mean, the Byakugan would be extremely useful in this map, for instance. Plus, your mobility is limited, something we haven't seen in any of these other maps. You actually have a ceiling, meaning you can't just jump huge distances. And I believe this would definitely bring some variety to the gameplay. Maybe it wouldn't work great in other game modes like Barrier Battle, but it could spawn new and interesting game modes for sure. Number 6, Mount Myoboku. I just love the look of this place, and I want to see it in as many games as possible. Frogs happily hopping around in the background as ninjas fight right next to them. Not a care in the world. I love the colors, and hey, maybe you could even have those pools of water where if someone falls into the water, they turn into a frog. That would be an extremely funny way to die. Number 5, the Forest of Death. Now think of the map that we already have with a hidden leaf, the one with all the gameplay. Technically, it would be similar in terms of visuals and stuff, but a lot more dense, full of trees, to the point where you can easily just keep moving from tree to tree without ever touching the ground. It would be an awesome map to set up ambushes for those just carelessly running on the ground. And it would also be a true test of skill when fighting other players on top of the trees, because you're not only fighting the enemy ninjas, you're also trying to stay on top of the trees without falling. Or not, maybe you want to go back to the ground to make an escape, but either way, it gives you options, and ultimately, that's what makes a great map. Number 4, Turtle Island. Now, the Turtle Island would be perfect for my Shinobi Battleground Battlegrounds idea. If you didn't watch that video, this idea is basically a mix of Shinobi Striker with PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, where 100 ninjas drop into an island and the last one alive wins. The Turtle Island would be awesome for that, because you have so many locations of interest. You have the spiky areas, you have heavy forests, you have more open areas with lakes, and it's even got this huge temple behind a waterfall. So even if my Battlegrounds idea doesn't make it into the game, which, let's be honest, it probably won't, Turtle Island still has a lot of variety that they could definitely take advantage of. Number 3, the Chunin Exam Coliseum. We need an arena in this game, something a bit more straightforward, something that removes the obstacles from our path and just focuses on pure fighting. Either a 1v1 duel or a 4v4 brawl, doesn't matter. The Coliseum, where the Chunin exam took place, would be perfect. Ninjas from all over the world have already gathered here multiple times and tried to prove they were the strongest ninjas, so it fits perfectly with the setting already and just gives us a different type of playground to fight amongst ourselves. A nice break from all the movement stuff and more focused on actually team battling or just fighting in general. Number 2, the Cowboys Dimension. This is an area somewhat between the complexity of the Forest of Death and the simplicity of the Chunin Exam Coliseum, because it's got different platforms, it's got its verticality, but it's all a bunch of cubes, so it ends up being a lot easier for the movement. It's harder for the enemy to hide behind any type of object, but it still doesn't completely forsake the mobility like the Coliseum. It's still a factor in the game, but the focus is still on the battles. You still have to keep the environment in mind, because there are holes and you could fall to death. It just wouldn't be as big of a pain as in the other environments. And number 1, Kaguya's Dimension. This is another place that I just think visually is very, very impressive, and at the same time just full of dangers. Thanks to Kaguya's teleportation abilities, Naruto and Sasuke went through all kinds of dangers. And just like I think we need an arena where there are little to no obstacles, like the Coliseum, I also want a place where I'm constantly fighting the environment. It would be even better if the developers somehow were able to shift dimensions during the actual gameplay. So 1 second you'll be dodging lava fountains and the next the ground becomes slippery in the ice dimension. Kaguya's Dimension would be very demanding of players' attention, because you constantly have to split your attention between fighting the enemy ninjas and fighting the environment. And I think that kind of challenge would fit great in Shinobi Striker. And those were 10 maps that we could have in Shinobi Striker. To make things a little bit more interesting, I want to give a shout out to Tiago Araújo and Mr. Zod77 for giving me the idea to make this video. Thank you so much, guys. I love how this channel is evolving, where you guys get to decide which content I make. We got a special thing going on here. Last week's video was about the Kekkei Genkai that we'd like to see in the game. Check out the video up here. And this was my favorite addition to that list, so thank you very much for your comment, as always. If you're in the mood for something else, there's also the video at the bottom. But as always, thank you very much for watching. My name's GlobQ, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!